Hi folks, just letting you know that I have uploaded the assessment criteria and guidelines for the third assessment task in this unit, Faith, Theology and Doctrines. It's the essay, of course, due in on Friday week. I've put the document up on your respective unit, not on the meta unit, but in the unit that corresponds to your specific enrolment, whether that's online, face-to-face or undergraduate or postgraduate. The task's fairly straightforward one. It's a basic essay for an introductory unit. I've set out 6 different areas of criteria for 6 different criteria for assessment. First, fairly obvious adherence to word limit and the required format. That's self-explanatory. Some marks given for grammar, punctuation, spelling, clarity of expression. These are all important. These are not matters of pedantry, because these are actually important for your capacity to demonstrate and communicate your argument. Another criterion is the understanding of and adherence to the topic. It's very tempting to write an essay on a topic of your choice, or one that you think is related to the set topic, but that's not what's being asked for. And you have, of course, the liberty when you take the topic to fine-tune it and give it a particular slant by all means, and you can use your opening paragraphs to describe how you're going to do that, but you still need to make sure that you're addressing the topic that as posed. Almost half of the marks are given for quality of your argument, the structure and clarity of that argument. Again, this is probably the most critical skill that we want to see on display here, again, because it's not just for the skill itself, but for its capacity to demonstrate your theological learning during this unit. The second last criterion is engagement with existing scholarship and originality. If you're really aiming for high marks, this is where you've got to really pick up most of the 20% of the marks are actually available for this. So I'm often asked how many references are needed, and it's a bit hard to answer that question arbitrarily, but I think anything less than 5 references is simply inadequate, and certainly something approaching 10 is more like it. Depends, of course, also how you use your references. You could have 10 references in your bibliography and never make any use of them in your essay. Well, that doesn't really count. I guess what I'm looking for is to see that you've engaged the scholarship in a way that shows you where the contemporary discussion lies, but it might be that you only specifically engage with or quote 3 or 4 of, say, 10 writers that you've chosen to identify. So it's a matter of showing in general terms that you know what the different scholarly viewpoints are, but then more concretely showing how you might engage with 2 or 3 of them. And then finally, there's the criterion of style and referencing in footnotes and bibliography, which again self-explanatory via the style guide, which is on the Pilgrim Assessment Task Guide, to which there is a link on the document. Just to go back to the topic itself, you will know already you're asked to write an essay on a particular Christian doctrine studied during the course, an essay which demonstrates the development across time and or place of that doctrine. And you can choose from the doctrines that we've studied, namely Christology, Scripture, God, doctrine of the Trinity, creation, humanity, salvation, the church, or hope. So the essay gives you the chance to show some sense of consciousness, historical consciousness about a doctrine, a particular area of Christian doctrine. How has it changed? What have been the forces at work that have caused that doctrine to change? Gives you the opportunity to make an assessment on how those changes and those developments are to be evaluated. I hope you enjoy writing it. I think it's a good opportunity to draw together some of your learnings from this particular unit, but to do that in a very focused way on one of the doctrines that has been studied. So I wish you well, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly for advice, and I'd be happy to consider any outlines of essays, for instance, you want to get some feedback on beforehand. Okay, all the best.